you still live?
What if every human being on Earth could live here without a mask? Then the Na'vi people will be gone.
After 3 whole years, we're finally returning to the world of Pandora in Avatar's third film, Fire and Ash.
And Morgan recently caught up with stars Zoe Saldaña and Oona Chaplin, along with a Canadian exclusive with the one and only Sigourney Weaver.
I'm going to try not to geek out. You know, when you first worked with James Cameron in 1986 on Aliens, to now this third Avatar film, how has your relationship changed with him over the years?
You know, I feel like from the very beginning, he cared what I thought about the script. He has such a brilliant way of introducing these characters that you have in Aliens and you really know who they are. You really see their challenges. You really see their humor. It's so real. And I was always so impressed by it. And, but we didn't really get to know each other on that. Okay. We got to trust each other.
Nice.
But I never knew he was funny until we went on the sort of victory tour around the country, and he was so funny. Well, I think on these films, Jim is always with us because he's not holding a camera. He's not in Video Village. This is the biggest gift to an actor.
He's extremely curious.
I like that.
And I think that is what's, that's one of the reasons why he is who he is. He asks questions and then he finds answers to his questions. He really creates a sandbox where there's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the question never asked.
Yeah.
And I always share that. I want people to know that about him.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
I love your character, Kiri. But a lot of the journalists were talking after we saw the film, and your character delivers a line that's incredibly similar to Ripley's iconic line in Aliens.
Get away from her, you bitch.
How much fun was it for you paying homage to that performance with that line?
Well, I was not doing that. Maybe Jim was doing that, but I remember that, again, because I think of her age and her some insecurity, that it was amazing to be able to save my mother.
Yeah.
And from this witch, And I think that all through the film, especially, well, probably the adults, but certainly our young family, especially Kiri, has to take a leadership role sometimes in that. And it's made her a much bolder character and more confident person by the end of it, so she really can take on Varang, and you see her fire. It's quite incredible. So I wasn't thinking at all what you were thinking, although I think when I heard me say the bitch word, I thought, oh, okay, getting it.
I love that you just said that. I was just thinking about when Avatar first came out. That was 2009, right? And then Star Trek also came out that year?
Mm-hmm.
That must have been a crazy year for you.
Yeah, it was because, but also I shot Avatar before Star Trek. And I remember when I was shooting Avatar, Jim walks up to me one day, he goes, I have a surprise and I think you're gonna thank me for this. And I'm like, what? I think my agents had called him and said, listen, J.J. Abrams is meeting Zoe for the role of Uhura, and Jim invited him to set. But here I am looking at my future, director, but I'm looking at the 9-year-old version of J.J. Abrams because he was so excited to be there with James Cameron. And I remember then they go off and they talk and then and Jim just looks back and goes, "You're welcome." Okay.
That's such a
It was the funniest thing, and I remember I booked the movie and then every time I kept calling Jim, I'm like, so Star Trek is gonna come out and what about Avatar? He goes, I know, I need 6 more months and then he'll come out.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool. I love hearing that. You both are such forces in this film, but Varang is just She's fiery.
She's
spicy.
spicy.
That's such a great
she's
word.
so spicy.
Are you just like that in real life, or?
Oh God.
No, where did that come from? Because you just were like you. We can't take our eyes off you in this movie.
I mean, it was a lot of it actually came from inspiration from Zoe, because of the way that she was. Navi was just so, literally out of this world. And then how just kind of looking at her and studying her, and then feeling, okay, what happens if you just close the heart? If you just tighten it up around your heart, then what happens? And then a lot of the movement came from there, and a lot of the psychology actually also came from there. So it was just a kind of, from how to go from an open heart where you're connected with everything into a closed heart where you don't trust anything.
You are one of my favorite actresses. You've mastered every genre possible, which is rare. Do you feel proud about that as an actress?
Yes, I have been genre blind. I don't really care about the role.
Yeah.
I just read the story and I go for it. I don't care what genre it's in. So I feel that that was just because I really wanted to be a repertory theater actor.
Okay.
And I wanted to play big parts, small parts, etc. I've been able to do that in my career. That was sort of my little secret. And so it's amazing. I mean, people talked about I'm the queen of sci-fi, but in fact, I've gone everywhere.
Everything.
And I'm so pleased, because that's really what I wanted to do, was have fun doing that. That was my priority.
My God, well, you did it. That's so cool.
I know, I can't believe it.
Oh, I can't wait. Those were so good. Great job, Morgan. Avatar: Fire and Ash out in theaters this Friday.